Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Angela. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Before I get started, I want to go over my disclaimers. If you are in immediate danger, please call 911 or you can reach out to the domestic hotline at 800-799-SAFE, 800-799-7233. And for mental health, reach out to NAMI at 800-950-NAMI. 800-950-6264. You can also text at 741741. And for additional resources, reach out to the National Suicide Hotline at 988. You can either text or call that number. With that being said, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. So today I want to talk to you about the true enemy, the narcissist. And I want you to look at it this way. You have friends, and then you have this one person that's in your life that's pretending to be a friend, but in reality they're spiteful, they're jealous, and they hate the person you are. So imagine being in a relationship like that. This person that you thought loved and cared for you, because everything that they showed you seemed to be true love. It seemed to be what you were looking for, and it seemed to be everything that you could imagine. But reality, this person hated you from the start. This person saw a light in you and wanted to dim the light as quickly and as possible as they could. So this person was a true enemy. This person never had your back, even when you thought. If you think about the time that you was in this relationship and everything seemed to be going well, and this person seemed to have your back, if you listen to certain comments they made, certain reactions they did, how they looked at you, doing things that you assume that they were caring for you, they never was. So I'm gonna give you this is a little story time, and I think I may have told this story before, but I just want you to hear it again today. So myself and my ex, we have went out with some friends of mine, and we went to dinner and a movie. And so when we went to dinner, my friend, I've known her for 30 years, she's got I don't know what it is, but she's the type of person, she complains about everything under the sun. Nothing is never right for her. And I've known this about her for years. And I even made my ex aware of how she was. So we get to the restaurant after the movie. And we're sitting there, we're discussing the movie. And it's time to order. So everybody placed their order. And the food starts to come out. As soon as hers come out, without fail, she starts to complain about it. Every 5 minutes she's complaining. So literally the waiter, took her food back 5 times. So by this time, she says to everybody, you can go ahead and eat. You don't have to wait. So we're eating, and out of the blue, my ex says to her, now keep in mind we're both married couples, he says to her, you want some of my food? And then she said no. And then so when the order comes back out, the guy brings the food, and this time it's finally correct. Now keep in mind, what was weird to me was her husband didn't offer, but my ex offered her some food, and then after that the husband decided to offer. So when he brings the food back out, it's fine, but she's missing some type of sauce. So it's the part that got me is my ex breaks his neck to get up to go run after the waiter, and her husband says nothing. And I'm just looking at all of this interaction. So then, I didn't say anything. We're just talking and laughing. And then I noticed her husband is joking around with her. So then my ex started joking. But the joking that he did was me to really poke fun and to really put me down. I mean, you would have had to have been blind not to see it. So when we got back home, I asked him, I said, what was that all about? Because I didn't feel to make a big to-do out in front of everybody. And he said, well, I was just trying to be helpful and thoughtful. I said, well, you do know she's married. I said, and her husband was sitting right there. And I said, and on top of that, what was the put downs for? You know, and then he just goes with this explanation. Oh, you're too sensitive. I was trying to get to know your friends, and don't take it to heart. And why would you say this? You know, I would never make you look bad in front of your friends. You know, and here's the part. He flipped it and made it seem like it was all me just blowing this out of proportion. But in reality, that was his way of still trying to put me down. Like I said, the narcissist is a real enemy, and they don't have nothing for you. So that was one occasion. Then another occasion, I seen him do it, and I know I mentioned this story before, to his coworkers. We saw them at the movies, and he really discarded her and talked to her like she was worthless. And I even said, you know, don't be mean to her, because it was just too much. And I've seen it again. We were at a Starbucks. It was early in the morning. We had some errands to run, and we stopped by Starbucks, and the lady was so nice. She had such a beautiful spirit, and she was telling us about, you know, the specials of the day. And we went ahead and ordered, and he was taking my order because we're in the car, and he was repeating what I said to him, and he was yelling at her, you know. And then so I'm, you know, nugging him and telling him, don't talk to her that way. So when we got to the front, before she came out, I said, you know, I said, you have such a good personality. I said, it's like the sun. I said, and I'm sorry that my husband was so rude to you. I said, so please forgive him for that. And I said, and you continue to have a good day. And she said, oh, thank you, you know. And then so when we drove off, he didn't say anything to me. He just looked at me like he could have killed me. So I started to notice little things about this person, you know, stuff that I had already seen, but it was like God was putting it to the forefront. This person didn't have my back. This person could care less about me. I went into the hospital for a procedure, and here's the funny thing. He had a procedure 2 years earlier, so I was there by his side. I didn't leave. I talked to the doctors. I was there for him the way a spouse should be. And so when it came to me, my daughter was there, and he was there. And my daughter had offered to spend the night with me, and so he could go home and go to work, and he said no. And so she, you know, so of course she respected that. So he insisted on taking her home. And the part that I didn't understand is my daughter is an excellent driver. She could have driven the car home and came back to pick us up when it was time for us to go, you know. So he insisted on it. So she tells me during the drive, this is right after I'm in surgery. And it's probably about 5. I've been in there now for a few hours. So he decided to take her home and try to get back before I'm out of surgery. But anybody who knows that during that time it's rush hour, so you're never going to make it back in time. And so he's driving, and she tells me when they're halfway there, there's a phone call, and he's not answering it. You know, he keeps sending a call. And then she said, you may want to answer that, because that's a 206 number, and that's could be the hospital. So, you know, you may want to answer. So he finally did answer, and he tells them, I'm on my way back, which wasn't true. He hadn't even dropped my daughter off. So he drops her off. He comes back, and he comes back with food. Now, keep in mind, I've just had a surgery. I can't eat anything, especially stuff with that much seasoning. So he comes back, but before he comes back, I'm out of recovery. And the nurse is asking me, where's my family? And I said, I don't know. And she said, well, we was able to call him. He said he was on his way. She said, but that was 2 hours ago. And she said, is anybody here? Is anybody can call? And I said, well, you can try calling them again. And she said, okay. She said, but he's not answering. And then she said, you know, don't worry about it. She said, we'll get a hold of him. And then maybe about an hour later, he walks in with Olive Garden. And the smell from the food immediately made me sick. So I started to get sick behind it. And I asked him, I said, you know, where did you go? And he explained that he had to take my daughter home, and that he wasn't gone that long. I said, well, that's not true. The nurse was trying to reach out to you, and they didn't know where you had went. And I just noticed during the time that I was in the hospital, he seemed to be bothered. He's showing me that he didn't want to be there. So I was thinking maybe he's just really uncomfortable seeing me in this position. So anyway, we get home, and it's no better. He's showing me that he really doesn't want to deal with me. And I see it in so many scenarios. Everything that he's doing is just showing me that he doesn't want to be there. And so I just decided that I'm just going to pray and depend upon God. And my daughter was coming around, so I started to I stopped asking him for anything. I stopped asking him for help. So, you know, I said all that to say this. I started to realize that this person doesn't have my back. This is a true enemy. This person could care less if I recover or heal well. And when we went in for my checkup after the surgery, he was there, and he's asking the doctor questions, and she's looking at him like, why would you ask these type of questions? You know, it makes no sense to say this or assume that she can do this because she just had a major surgery. And so she's just looking at him. And I noticed something. The look on her face, she actually said something to him that was very frank. She said to him, it depends on her healing. And if she's not up for the occasion, then she looked at me. She said, then I wouldn't suggest that you do it. She said, because this is all about you, and no one else can make this choice for you. And then so when she said that, he kind of sat back and he looked, and that look on his face, you know, well, you don't know, but the one that I know so well, he was upset and angry. And so I just wanted, at that point, I realized I'm dealing with somebody who could care less about my well-being, and someone that I need to walk away from quickly. So is the narcissist a true enemy? Yes. This person has been faking and lying, and it's time for you to understand that and move on. If you know someone that's going through this, please share this video. If you're the one that's going through it, watch it as many times as you need to. And I will see you again tomorrow. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share.